touch all your seatbelts, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it. Favor, just touch all your seatbelts, touch all your connections, touch your Hans. Just make sure you get everything like you want it.
Good evening, everybody. Another race on tap here for us with the USA trucks, this time for the Eastern Division. As we've been seeing with this Eastern Division, it's been mostly a lot of the same, mostly the status quo from the championship earlier last year, earlier in the season this year, where our top three have been hard to beat. Defending champ Tim Kourting and Atley Wiese have both got 2 wins apiece, making this a more of a struggle hold at the front with these two as they start on the front row again. And the one impressive part is we've been seeing the struggles from Chaz Chadwick, which has been amazing to see so far. Getting the kinks worked out of the Honda program and trying to get it within a position to win races. He's just right at the edge there of getting it pulled off. Ant Me person. And then here we go. We've got Jordan Roman in the fill-in seat here, the 77, alongside Gavin Gray. Bradley Ream and Andre Stefan. Scott Speed and Andrew Moger. Jeffrey Gerald and Jordan Walker. Ryan Little and James Reddick, John Brinker and Justin Roman here for the 87 Toyota TRD All-Star seat. Then you got Santi Messi and Colton Smith, Jack Ross and GP Luxembourg, Dalton Hayes and Zach Armstrong, Kyle Ottawa and the 8 of Cannon Gage, Jack Davis and Chris Hergeson, Taden Berggren and Jakov Rosovich, Craig Bush and David Bird, Asiel Escobar and the 05 of Rose Reina, Nate Gonzalez and Jessica Hergeson, then Maggie Reams, Logan Nagy, James Robert and Tasha Wright, Gannon Bird and Leighton Avyard, which the 59 here is going to have a manufacturer change effective next week. They're going from Chevy to Dodge to help fill an absent Dodge field of trucks. And so you'll see that unveiled next week on the schedule as they'll be switching over from Chevy to Dodge. And then at the very back, you got Kosnoff and Mozzie. 210 laps here tonight at Knoxville. This will be the East Coast's first dirt race. We saw earlier just a couple weeks ago actually, the Chili Bowl for the West Coast. And yeah, the story has been kind of redundant this season as we've seen a repeat from our winter champions just lighten this field on fire. Tim Kourting and Atley Wiese has been a hard duo to shake at the front of the field. And the two of them rolling off to the lead here to get this race going. In the past couple weeks, we've seen Chevy break out of the 0 win column, and even Subaru got their first win in only their first season of racing here. something that Chevy will not be able to say they accomplished, as they could not get a win in their first 3 seasons of racing in the USA Trucks. Next on the list would be Honda, trying to get that first win, being their first season out on track here. And it looks like a good shot tonight. If Chadwick keeps where he's running in second here, could potentially see 3 races in the past 4 of them where we've had a new manufacturer grace victory lane. But it's fairly early, and there's still a lot of racing here tonight at Knoxville. Tim Kourting dropping back to 4th as that 77 truck of Jordan gets by him. Some of the, I guess, key improvements we've seen this year has been the Railfan Motorsports team, as Bradley Ream has expanded from a 1-truck operation to now 3. And with that expansion, he has shown promise with all 3 drivers getting top 10s week in and week out. So Railfan Motorsports has been an exciting team to follow, as well as the transitions for a couple of the big name teams, such as LFG Motorsports going from Dodge to Honda, and our other key candidate of Atley Wiese going from Dodge to Toyota. They've kind of settled out single file at the front of the field here, but a lot of side-by-side racing from 8th on back, it looks like. We know for a fact that Moger is in a must-win scenario where he needs to get a win to qualify for the Dubby chase at the end of the season. These all-star seats are not going to be eligible for that chase later on, as it has rotated drivers. Any truck that has rotated more than a single driver will not be eligible for the chase. The only jurisdiction that would change that is if someone had went from being a rotating truck to a full-timer. And a good example of that would be, let's see if we've got anyone in the field here that would fit the mold for. Not a lot for all-star seats that have changed into full-time rides here on the East Coast. There is one on the West Coast. For example, the 9 truck had been a rotating seat, but now it has Alan Malcolm, who's going to be the full-time contender for the championship if he so happens to work his way up the points or get a win to secure that position. Atley slowly closing up on the back to get into lap traffic here. Chadwick still holding in second there, not letting Atley get too far away. We've seen some gnarly crashes here at Knoxville in this USA Truck Series. One particular case was Tim Kourting, who was looking to try and seal the deal here and got to tumbling through turn 2 right about here. Good thing he was able to come out of it unscuffed, but it was definitely a gnarly wreck and shows you just how difficult this track can be, especially being on the dirt and all that. Once we get into lap traffic here, it's really going to be a huge telltale on who's got the best strategy making it through this lap traffic. Atley faring pretty well so far, getting through the traffic, even going 3 wide here with 2 of the lappers. Tim Kourting was able to get by the 77 truck, and so now he's in 3rd hunting. Making it look easy as Atley cruises through traffic here. Chadwick's got about 4 car lengths separating him from the lead. And then you look back, it's about another 4 lengths separating him from Tim Kourting. For every truck that Chaz is able to pass, it looks like Atley passes about 2 more. So definitely Atley hauling the mail right now. The crazy part is he's going to be lapping towards the top 30 here shortly, and it's only roughly lap 30 of 210 laps. So at that pace, he's going to put almost the entire field a lap down. Nice part is he's still got some solid competition holding serve right there behind him. Chadwick is now into the realm of Tim Kourting. Kourting catching up to that back bumper. Lap traffic's holding Chadwick up here, and Kourting's going to secure 2nd place for the time being. Side by side with lap traffic going 3 wide into the turn there. Chadwick still struggling, trying to find an open groove to get by both these lap trucks. So yeah, the impressive part is this East Coast is a lot of the status quo from the championship this winter, where we had Tim Kourting and Atley Wiese finish 1-2. And then, of course, 3rd was Chaz Chadwick. So as we're watching right here, 1, 2, 3 are defending 1, 2, 3 in the championship from the last season. And I think that makes our West Coast that much more exciting to follow, because it's kind of going into that great unknown, not knowing who's going to win each week. But on the other hand, you got the East Coast here, where you can almost predict who's going to win each week. It's kind of crazy. One of these 3 are definitely going to be fighting for the Dubby Chase Championship at the end of the year. Chadwick still got his work cut out for him, as he's had the rough start to this first half of the regular season. And without points, he's gonna probably have to get a win, having struggled so bad this first stint here on the East Division. It's not out of the realm of possibility that he could still point his way in, especially if Atley and Tim Kourting keep bouncing the wins back and forth. That'll be one less person eligible to win their way in. And it's already a factor now, as Atley and Tim have both got 2 wins apiece in an 11 race regular season. Do the math, and we've already got people that are going to have to get in on points since we can't have 10 different winners. So let's kind of try to figure out a highlight on who's doing well that normally ain't in the top of the field. Starting with give a shout out to Ryan Little, who's running 12th right now. Has been kind of a struggle for that team to find speed momentum, but giving Taden Bergeron's team a good run here tonight in 12th so far. A little further back, James Reddick still finding momentum in that 62. Getting better and better each week. It's going to be a matter of time before he starts securing top 10s. Kyle Ottawa in the Chevy there. That's probably one of his best runs so far. He's often in the mid-30s, back 40s of the field, running 20th here tonight. Not too much further behind him, and he's probably going to get lapped here soon as Atley has lapped all the way up to 22nd. David Bird in 22nd is your last truck on the lead lap. It seems like the pace has kind of fallen off on Atley as Tim Kourting closing the gap here. And we all know very well that Tim Kourting has insane speed when it comes to dirt racing. He spent most of his upbringing in Michigan racing the local dirt tracks there, so Tim Kourting obviously has a reason to be strong on dirt tracks like this. Closing that gap immensely as we might be looking at a potential fight for the lead here. Never did I anticipate that we would see the back and forth like we are here in the East Division with Atley and Tim Kourting. That these guys might just be the class of the series this year. We might have to give them a bonus award for getting as many wins as they're getting. In the meantime, as Tim Kourting and Atley drive off at the front, Chadwick, struggling through the lap traffic, has lost a lot of pace. But still a lot of racing here tonight. Something could go wrong for the front two. Who knows what'll happen, as we still have at least 150 laps to go. "48 laps into this one and still no caution. Everything's been going smoothly. I have also decided not to use better cautions on short tracks going forward, as we have learned from the mistake, as it seems like the better cautions mod for NR 2003 causes a lot of problems when it comes to short track racing. So, with all the pieces in place, we should have a flawless race here tonight without any technical difficulties. Oh, and I think we're just now missing the change for the lead there. Let's go back one lap and see how that all materialized. Tim Kourting gets, wow, it didn't take him long. He gets side by side with Atley in the turn there. Coming through turn 3, it looks like he's able to secure the position with ease, and at the same time making passes on more lap trucks. Atley not letting it get away too easily. As you see, he's running that midline there. But with the lap traffic in the way, there's no way to make that work. So Tim Kourting takes the lead here on lap 50. In the number 50 truck nonetheless. So first lead change of the race as Atley cruised with the lead for the first 49 laps. And now we're seeing the back and forth that is between Tim Kourting and Atley. The last race was won by Atley. So if this was a back and forth affair like tennis, we would be seeing Tim Kourting in victory lane tonight. We'll have to keep an eye on Atley now to see if Chadwick closes that gap. The field has now been lapped up to 13th as we only have 13 trucks on the lead lap. As crazy as that seems, this race, at most dirt tracks we see half the field, if not 3/4 of the field, go a lap down just with the strength of the competition. Looks like the track's going to get relatively clear after Jack Ross here. Got Zach Armstrong, who's running in 12th. And ahead of that, we've got more lap traffic in between. Justin Roman in 11th for TRD. Bradley Ream running in 10th. Scott Speed running in 9th. Ant Me-Person solidly in 8th. We've been seeing a resurgence from Ant Me-Person in the Sylvania Cup Series. Not quite enough to start closing the gap on Atley, who's our current points leader. But if you've been following the Sylvania Cup Series, it's going to be an exciting one with only 11 races left in the season. Atley leads, but UN What Army has a legit chance with over 2,000 points still on the board that he could close the gap, the 450-some point gap from him to Atley Wiese in the Sylvania Cup Series at the end of the season here. It's really going to be a make-or-break race once we go to the Chicago airport for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Spectacular. Andrew Moger running 7th. Solid run for him after switching over from the West Coast to the East Coast here. 6th, Andre Stefan, who surprisingly is still in the talks for leading the points over the likes of Atley Wiese and Tim Kourting. It's because he keeps getting these top 5 and top 10 finishes that it's going to keep him above even those that have been winning like crazy as of late here. 5th place, Jordan Roman. And then 4th place, Chaz Chadwick, as somehow Jordan Walker has kind of come alive here on the long run. 66 laps of green flag racing, and that 10 truck coming around, making up some more momentum on the front of the field. Closing in on Atley to put him back to 3rd. So it seems like Atley has used up his tires on this long run here and just trying to kind of limp it along until he can possibly get fresh tires or maybe a caution come out. So Jordan Walker makes the pass here to get up to second, putting Atley back to third. But now Jordan Walker has a big gap to catch up to the ever cruising Tim Kourting at the front of the field. Kourting keeps putting more lap traffic behind him. Now closing in on the multiple lap down traffic of Tasha Wright, Tayden Berggren. Next lead lap truck is that 87, just 2 trucks ahead of him. 87 of Justin Roman having a solid run for TRD Motorsport. Tim Kourting is no stranger to victory here at Knoxville, as he had won here a year ago, almost about a year and 2 months ago, July 26th when he last won here. In between then, we had another race in 2023 earlier this season in the Winter Series, and that was the one where he got turned upside down and flipped around through turn 2. So if it had not been for that race, he would be looking at possibly a perfect record here at Knoxville. However, still 2 for 3 if he's able to secure the win here tonight is still an impressive record if he can definitely pull that off. So he's been to victory lane here, is no stranger to success on dirt tracks. We've seen him win at the Chili Bowl. We've seen him win at Knoxville. And honestly, I don't know what the secret formula is for that 50 truck, as he is just, he's got, if I had stats and everything pulled up, I think his win percentage here would be the highest of any other driver when it comes to dirt track racing. But with that said, he is also very strong when it comes to road courses, short tracks, super speedways, or speedways. So he's really a well-rounded individual when it comes to any form of racetrack. But the lack of, basically we don't have that many dirt tracks that we go to. So every time he comes to a dirt track, that statistic gets a little bit larger because it's so few tracks and he's got so much success on them. I do believe the caution came out with that 13. We saw the 13 of Ant Me Person come down to the bottom of the track there. And I think we might have had someone else spinning out because of the slowed up traffic. Let's see. Oh, the 87 of Justin Roman was having such a good run, and he got sideswiped by the 13 there. So out of what seems to be 11th place, I think, for the 87. Yep. Justin Roman clips the slowing traffic of Aunt Me person. Doesn't quite go for a tumble there, but hits pretty dang hard. We'll see if he's able to continue on. Must have been a mechanical failure for the 13 truck. This is going to be an interesting start for the lack of trucks on the lead lap here. There's a lot going on here under caution as the trucks get woed up, and the chaos is mostly due in part to the fact that we only have 10 trucks on the lead lap here. Our lead traffic's trying to get by all the lap traffic. It looks like our leader's going to switch around to Chadwick at the front after pit stops have subsided, but Chadwick, after making contact there under caution, coming back down pit road to get a little bit more done on that truck to get it fixed. So what was going to be inheriting the lead there, he's going to come down pit road and get a few last adjustments before returning to the track. He's getting repairs done. It looks like the 41 coming back out, the 00. Chadwick's going to have to get going here or else he'll be trapped a lap down. Going right now is they're going to get the green flag. Pace truck is off. And Jordan Walker, now your new leader. But a whole bunch of lap traffic on the inside. This is going to spell chaos for the first few laps on the restart here. Oh, Tim Kourting coming down pit road. That's an unscheduled pit stop. Perhaps something going on with that 50 truck. That's going to give Chadwick another spot on track here as he's going to be able to get by the 50. As the 50's on pit road. That'll put him up to 6th. And really it'll only give us about 6 trucks on the lead lap here tonight. The chaos that is always going to be. That's why you got to run the race all the way to the finish. You never know when something like that's going to happen, where your leader, like that Tim Kourting, was looking unbeatable here tonight. Now he's going to get trapped a couple laps down, trying to fight to get back on the lead lap. So with all that changed, we now have Andrew Moger up to 3rd, Atley Wiese in 2nd, and Jordan Walker leading the way, trying to put the 50 truck a lap down. And that's going to be a tall feat for Jordan Walker to get around that 50 truck. If he's going to keep and maintain the pace we've seen today, Tim Kourting might still have a chance to stay on the lead lap here and fight another day. Fight for some more positions on track and try to get back into a position to win it. Chadwick at the back of the field picking off the lap traffic one by one, trying to get back up to the lead pack. Closest his competition is about half of the racetrack ahead of him in 5th. And that would be right here with Jordan Roman in the 77s. So going to have a lot of space to close the gap. Andre Stefan running in 4th. Bradley Ream, the first truck, 1 lap down in 8th. But here we go. Andrew Moger making a pass here on Atley Wiese. Looks like Wiese actually sustained some damage on that truck. A lot of trucks got thrown through the ringer during that round of pit stops under caution. So now Moger up to 2nd. That would be the feel-good story of the season so far if Moger could somehow come out victorious. Having struggled with Mother Nature on his side, flooding and all the crazy shenanigans that we can go through, still comes to the racetrack every week with a shot at winning a race. And tonight, no different, as that 74 truck trying to close the gap on the leader. It goes to show the strength and determination from the driver that even when things have gone south, when the world seems to be stacked against you, still come out there, race every week, and give it all you've got. And eventually, the deck will get stacked in your favor, where you can find yourself in victory lane. Meantime, though, Jordan Walker is a tough one to beat, leading the way here. That tin truck has proven to be a championship contender each year. It's just fallen by the wayside when it comes to crunch time. Jordan Walker knows for a fact that a win is not 100% necessary to lock himself into the chase, but it'll go a long way in doing so if he could pull off the win here tonight. Chadwick loses a spot there as Tim Kourting now moves up to 6th. Chadwick now at risk of getting lapped. And we just passed halfway as we are 105 of 210 laps down. Same amount of laps to go. Jordan Walker about to put our 7th place driver a lap down. As now Chadwick runs in 7th, 1 lap down. Tim Kourting, the next one in line there, running 6th. Still on the lead lap for now. And I think this is what makes it interesting, because when you go to a dirt track like this and you get so many people put a lap down, it's kind of like going back to the old times in NASCAR where you would have a driver that would lap the entire field. It changes the whole picture with the race going, through the night and whatnot, when you got someone that's strong enough to lap the entire field. I think the crazy part was the fact that we were looking at Tim Kourting as being that guy to lap the entire field, and now Tim Kourting is struggling to stay on the lead lap. So it's crazy how things just change like the flick of a switch for the most part. And I applaud that for the series being, as cutthroat as it is to do that we get to see something like that materialize each week. something as crazy as your leader had dominated the first half of the race, and then the second half changes very, very drastically to show you a different outcome that you weren't expecting. At one point tonight, it looked like we were going to have a repeat winner between Atley and Tim, and now it looks like we could potentially get a first-time winner or a winner that has yet to win this season, running 1 and 2 right now. Moger definitely having a hard time making it through the traffic here, as he's got about 7 trucks that he's got to get by before he can start hunting down the leader. Jordan Walker is not putting a foot wrong yet, as he's led since the restart after our first caution of the race. And Jordan Walker, too, himself has seen victory lane, I believe, here at Knoxville in the Busch Series. We saw him lead every single lap here at Knoxville in the Sylvania Busch Light Series. So kind of a return to form when it comes to tracks that drivers know best. Knoxville has been a decent race through and through each time we run it. I think it kind of comes to form that each dirt race we have tends to be this kind of slugfest where they just put everyone a lap down, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, you got some races that are a wreck fest. You got some races that are kind of a strategy. And then you got races like this where you put everyone a lap down. Each race has kind of got its own character to it and gives us something to follow for sure. Still only 6 trucks left on the lead lap right now. Oh, and we've got another caution here on lap 124. Looked like the 54 of Mozzie was involved in that one. Let's see exactly how that happened. Oh, Mozzie gets the initial wreck here. The 42 of Aviard gets into the 54 of Mozzie, spinning both of them out. Caution comes out there. But once they get back on track here, 42 was not happy, it seemed. It looked like he deliberately dumps the 54. There must have been something that happened earlier in the race that we're not seeing, because it looked like the 42 dumped him going into turn 4 there, and then he straight hooks him coming onto the front straight, trying to put an end to the day for the 54. It's not something you want to see at racetracks no matter what, especially when you had innocent bystander try to pass by the 04 of Chris Hergeson. Just due to the retaliation from the 42, gets into the wreck here, gets slammed into the wall. So with that caution, we will be seeing another restart here tonight. around lap 123 once they get it all sorted here. See, I don't think many people are going to make a pit stop here, so everyone's kind of staying out with what they've got. We'll see the lap traffic take the low line and the leaders go high here with the old rules from NR 2003 season. All the lap traffic down low and your leaders up high up until 10 laps to go. So that's the caution that, and let's go ahead and give a pass. Wave number 18. We'll go ahead and wave around the 18 of Chadwick so he can get on the lead lap here. We'll see if the AI lets him do it. Should be able to. The problem is the AI is staying on the low side, so I don't think the wave round's gonna materialize this time around. It was worth a shot, but it looks like the restart's gonna happen here. Chadwick will have to wait till the next caution to get a wave round, and I'm looking now, I should have gave the wave round to the 40 truck instead. Glad to have you in the broadcast, Osceola. It looks like the 65 truck is running 30 at 3 laps down right now. Still a lot of racing, a lot could happen. We could have a pileup taking out plenty of trucks. So even though your truck's running 30th right now, it may not be the final position. Meantime, Jordan Walker leads the way. Andrew Moger in second, fighting with the lap traffic on the inside here. Atley Wiese in third. Jordan Roman in fourth. And a whole bunch of hungry drivers behind them as you got Tim Kourting trying to make moves to get back into the top 5. Tom Kourting back in the top 5 now. Lap traffic still giving him fits here as he's trying to make moves to get back up to about second. We know that 50 trucks had speed all night. He got trapped towards the back with a pit stop that threw him off schedule. Stayed on the lead lap and was able to run back to the front of the field here. Running second now, he's just got to catch the 10 of Jordan Walker. Now our fast trucks are kind of working their way back to the front again. Impressive run by Andre Stefan, who's slowly becoming one of the top 3 drivers each week. He's sitting third, about to get passed here by Atley, but you're gonna have to start putting his name in the hat for the championship bid here. With clear track in front for the time being, Jordan Walker driving away. But he's catching up to some of the slower lap traffic. 42 of Leighton Aviard was in that last wreck, so his truck significantly slower, it seems, due to the damage sustained in that wreck. Once Jordan catches him, he's going to have to find a way to get around Leighton Aviard pretty quickly, because I think Tim Kourting is going to start turning some really fast laps here. He's already turning laps that are 0.2 faster. That lap was on par. They ran about the same time that time. But once you start putting lap traffic into the equation, it's anyone's game at that point. Atley and Andre still close behind him, not letting Tim Kourting get too far ahead of them. But this race is going to start closing up here pretty quickly, as we're almost down to the final 60 laps of the race. For the 210 lap Knoxville race here. Brought to you by NOS. Tim Kourting is closing that gap pretty quickly, and it's going to be back in his court here soon. Whereas he dominated for the second half mark in this race. And the third quarter mark has belonged here to Jordan Walker. Way back in the race. The first quarter of the race belonged to Atley Wiese. So we've seen quite the spread when it comes to leaders here tonight. As it looked like Atley for one quarter, Tim for the second quarter, Jordan Walker for the third, and possibly Tim Kourting for that fourth quarter. Could start breaking it down like a football game. Of course, with football around the corner. Jordan Walker under attack here as Tim Kourting doesn't look like he's going to let him get away much further here. It's impressive watching Tim Kourting run his line on the track. He runs kind of a midline here, and it seems to be quicker than what the leader Walker's putting down. You can see where the track is a lot darker. That's where Tim Kourting is the most happy with his truck. Chadwick, his race has gone from bad to worse here as he's about to go a second lap down in 14th. Seems like it's going to be another day before he can find the speed necessary to win one of these things in a Honda. But 14th, it'll be an improvement over what he's seen as of recent. Still trying to work out the bugs in that Honda program. Top 15 finish will help get him towards a top 10, top 5, and possibly a win here in the coming weeks. We're going to tally up the points. And once we tally up the points, I'm going to give us all a kind of a playoff picture as we're halfway through the regular season for the USA trucks here for the summer championship. Try to get a little bit more excitement flowing through the series, as this has been an exciting season so far. We've seen, our veteran regulars, performing like they should. We've seen some surprise one-offs with Chevy getting to victory lane, Subaru getting to victory lane. And that's all going to kind of materialize into what could be one of the greatest battles that we've seen for the USA Trucks Championship. In the meantime, Tim Kourting has really closed the gap here. Jordan Walker just hanging on by a thread. As the laps start to clip away here, we're down to our final 48 laps to go. It seems like 50's been the magic number here tonight. Tim Kourting took the lead on lap 50. And not quite getting the lead with 50 to go here, but within 50 to go, he's really got a shot. And there we go. Change for the lead as that number 50 truck cruises by the 10. Walker now playing recovery and trying to get back what he's lost. But that's going to be hard to do with the speed that we've seen from that 50. Tim Kourting driving away with it now. Lap traffic is never certain, so that's the crazy part, is even though Tim Kourting leads the way, he could get tangled up in a bizarre wreck not of his doing. So lap traffic's always the wild card here, and he's just got to keep his nose clean and finish off these last 46 laps in the race. With that many laps left, it'll be done before you know it, as they're turning laps short of 18 seconds. Another truck slow on the apron there. It looked like Taden Berggren, who's going to bring out the caution here. And possibly drivers running out of gas, or, well, right here, it looks like mechanical failure, damage to the wheel for the 43 of Taden Berggren, who is running 19th, couple laps down. That truck stalls on the apron, bringing out our third caution here tonight at Knoxville. Give some folks the wave around here so that they can get back on the lead lap, as we've got 40 laps to go now. Go ahead and do the quick save of the race so that we've got both halves saved for certain. This will be race 6 of 11. 2 retirements on the races. The 55 involved in an accident, evidently, and the 83 with a gearbox failure. Alrighty, so we're going to get set up for the restart here. Tim Kourting leads the way over Jordan Walker, Andrew Moger, Atley Wiese, Andre Stefan, and Jordan Roman. These guys are getting the wave around and they're slowly catching back up to the... They must have made a pit stop. So we'll have 12 trucks on the lead lap here. Our wave rounds have to start at the end of the longest line per the rules. So 7 trucks at the front with a fighting chance for the win here. The others are going to have to hope for a caution pretty quickly to get back in the rotation. Tim Kourting clears the lap traffic and gets back into some clear space there. Jordan Walker trying to make the same moves to get by the lap traffic. Andrew Moger impressively running third so far. We said this about him last week here at this point where he was at a position to get the win. And he knows very well that he's in a must-win scenario, that he's got to get that win to qualify for the Dubby chase to the championship. And each week it looks like he's going to struggle and not get it done. Andre Stefan even making a pass here to get up to third. It's a tall order for these guys to catch the 50 of Tim Kourting, who's just been hard to beat all night. Atley's kind of stuck there in 3 wide territory with lap traffic. Trying his hardest to stay out of trouble there as lap traffic races around him. Can engage 1 lap down in 20th, or at least a lap down, might be 2 laps down in 20th. Holding his own here, keeping second on back from passing him. Oh, and there we go. We have another caution here. Oh, and it's a gnarly one. Looks like we've got a few trucks that tangled there. The 30 of Tasha Wright comes out with a lot of the damage here. She gets spun from 21st with a couple drivers that aren't even for position. She clips Rose Reyna there, then gets hit by the 39 of Logan Nagy, the 20, 82, couple others. And so we'll have another restart here tonight. Bam. Even Chadwick gets into it there. Jack Ross. Taden Berggren. After which Taden Berggren got the tow truck, and he's still continuing to run out there. Ooh, our leader's catching up to this lap traffic a little bit too quickly there. They keep it from making collision. So yet again, another caution here tonight, as it seemed pretty quiet at the beginning, but now been a little bit crazier for the cautions. 62's a lap down. Everyone else 2 laps down or worse, so we won't be given any wave rounds, as everyone is going to be back on the lead lap that'll be on the lead lap. If you're 2 laps down at this point, you're probably not going to maintain the pace to fight for the win here tonight. But this caution does benefit those that did get the wave round on the last caution. The likes of Bradley Ream, Jeffrey Gerald, Jack Ross. Those guys are going to have a shot again here tonight to try and get some spots and move up through the field on the final restarts of the race. Gotta imagine that we won't have too many restarts left, as we've gotten to the point where we're going to have probably about 22 laps to go on the restart. The lights are off on the pace truck, and we're going to get back going here with 23 laps to go. Changed up the camera angle here, so we got a little bit of a different perspective here on the final shootout, perhaps. We'll see if we can go caution free for the rest of this one as the pace truck pulls off into pit road. Tim Kourting gets to lead the field, set the pace here. That 50 truck's been hard to beat. Green flag waves, and they're back and rolling. Andre Stefan up to second. Jordan Walker back to third. Andrew Moger in fourth. Still really anyone's game if something crazy were to happen here. Big wild card right now is all this lap traffic that's keeping these guys from getting down to the preferred line down low. Andre Stefan had a shot, but because the lap traffic was on the inside, lost some momentum there. And now he's got the inside line, but he's going to have to capitalize on making it by this lap traffic to get anywhere near the 50 truck. Crazy part is, I think Andre Stefan could still walk out with the points lead here tonight, even with a second place finish to Tim Kourting, who would potentially get his 3rd win on the season. It's just crazy to think that someone with 3 wins would not be leading the points at this point. But Tim Kourting's bad races were really bad compared to the ones that he's won. So if Tim Kourting secures the win here tonight, that would be 3 of 6. So 50% of the races for this start of the season. Those are statistics that are hard to beat. Him and Atley right now, before this race started, were both sitting at a 40% win ratio, having won each 2 of the last 5. So This would only help Tim Kourting, as it'll move him to 50%, and it would hurt Atley, putting him at 33% win ratio. $15 laps to go. It's going to be getting close to closing time here. Jordan Walker fighting for third with Moger. Moger falls back to fourth here. Atley moving up. This will put him up into the top 5. Jeffrey Gerald putting together a show as he came from 10th all the way up to 5th so far. Falls back a couple spots here to 7th, but within range of getting back into that top 5. Jeffrey Gerald was a lap down, got that wave around, and making it interesting here in the closing laps. Bradley Ream in 8th, Jakov Rosevich in 9th, and James Reddick with a solid top 10. But in the meantime, it's all Tim Kourting at the front of the field, leading over what is now second place, Andre Stefan. But Stefan is not going to be able to close that gap as we're down to 11 laps to go here. Andre Stefan won the season opener and has put together quite a start to the season with a bunch of top 5s, a bunch of top 10s. His average finish looking spectacular, even without all the wins that the other guys are getting. Gap is 2.68 seconds in favor of Tim Kourting, even with lap traffic that he's having to pass by here. Now down to 7 laps to go. That gap at 2.76. This time by, the gap still continuing to grow. Now up to a 3-second lead. Five laps to go now. And Tim Kourting looking to possibly secure his second win here at Knoxville. He's going to have, out of 3 starts at this track, 2 wins to his name if he can pull it off. And it's getting increasingly harder for Andre Stefan to close that gap as we're down to now 3 laps. And no green-white checkers if we get any kind of caution. This race would end right here, right now with a caution, due to the fact that better cautions continues to make it impossible to run races on short tracks. So in the most part, it's just going to be whether or not Tim Kourting keeps from wrecking here with 2 laps to go now. This has just been a crazy start to the season for the Eastern Division, as it's been an Atley / Tim Kourting kind of, it's been a dominant season for these two so far. White flag waves, all he's got to do is cruise it around the backstretch here through the final 2 turns. And Tim Kourting is going to be a 3-time winner early on in the season here for the USA Trucks East Division. Decent finish for Andre Stefan, bringing it home second. Third was Jordan Walker. Fourth was Andrew Moger. Solid run for Moger. Fifth of Atley Wiese. Sixth for Jordan Roman. Seventh for Jeffrey Gerald. Eighth for Jakov Rosevich. Ninth, Bradley Ream. And 10th place belonged to Ryan Little here on the evening. James Reddick with an 11th. The rest of the field as follows. Ant Meeperson 2 laps down in 12th. John Brinker, Scott Speed, Jack Davis, David Bird, Kyle Ottawa, Cannon Gage, Colton Smith, and Rose Reyna. So Tim Kourting is definitely on a roll here, making it hard for the rest of the series. This is going to bode well for once we get the Dubby East-West Chase Championship going, that those bonus points he's racking up now are going to help him tremendously once we hit that chase. Like I mentioned, I'm going to get a graphic designed for the playoff picture so that we can kind of get an idea. As crazy it is, the halfway point of this regular season is already come and gone, as we're now 6 of 11 races through the regular season with the East and the West. We're going to start looking towards Chase Championship time in a matter of probably just a month or two. So 6 of 11 races complete for the East. Tomorrow, 6th race for the West will be contended. And congratulations again to Tim Kourting for just putting on a dominant clinic in this series, showing why he is the defending champion of our series here in style. Thank you everyone that tuned in. Glad you could. I'm excited that more people are interacting with the streams, getting some trucks updated and stuff for the folks that are getting into that. So that's cool. This is going to be a championship season like no other once we get around to the chase. We're going to have a lot of fun here this fall. Now at this point, summer's gone, even though this is considered the summer championship. So yeah, no, our West Division is starting to look like the experimental division. This East Division is looking a lot like the tried and true, kind of the expected winners each week. So tomorrow, expect the unexpected, and next week, once we come back to the East Coast, expect the expected. Glad that y'all tuned in. I know it's late on the East Coast over there, getting towards probably 1 in the morning. Tomorrow night it's going to be kind of the same with our broadcasts, about the same start time. So hopefully all that tuned in tonight have some free time tomorrow and can tune in for the West Coast Division. And perhaps we'll see maybe Honda get their first win, or maybe Chevy. Man, John Hagan has been a tough one to beat on the West Coast. So maybe John Hagan will have a shot at securing another win in the series. Or maybe we'll see new winners every week like we've seen so far. 5 races, 5 different winners. So why not make it 6 different winners? And with that, folks, I'm going to sign out for the night. Hopefully all of you have a good one. Get some rest, get some sleep, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. This is Jakester signing out.